Now listen, you guys, it seems like Advocate BBL is out there clapping back at Jatavia. We're going to be discussing the dynamics around that, and allegedly, she is out there moving around stalking. Or it at least looks like she's stalking one of the baby ma's of Stefon Diggs. And we're also going to be talking about ER, Rolling Stone, and of course what they had to say. I was supposed to talk about it yesterday, and at the same time, Tia Camp is coming for Nicki Minaj. Unprovoked, and these are some of the things that we're going to be talking about in this video. I trust you guys are doing well, and I trust you are doing great. Personally, I am doing great, you guys. I am doing extremely amazing, and without further ado, let us dive straight into today's tea. So, first of all, let's talk about Advocate BBL, and of course the song that she's out there teasing on the internet now. You guys know that there's been something going on between herself and Jatavia. She is finally responding to JT, and she's clowning her by, saying that, well, I spent the amount of streams in the club in one night, alleging or insinuating that Jatavia streams were 25K, and she spends 25K only just but in one night. Okay? So yeah, that's actually a very interesting take. Let me know in the comments section what you think about the clad bag. So first of all, let's talk about the concept of her, mocking Jatavia streams. Not only is it hypocritical, but of course it is also rather delusional, because before Jatavia's song got taken down, it was actually sitting on number 1 on iTunes, way above Magnet, which was a track from her actual album. Meanwhile, JT's track didn't literally have a hook. That's why it was called No Hook. It didn't have a hook. It wasn't a well-structured song, but it was doing better than her on the charts. Hence, they ended up taking it down. She may spin it however way she wants to spin it. But the truth is, people saw what was happening. And the screenshots had started circulating of Jatavia. Song sitting, higher than her. Own song Magnet, and then how convenient is it for Stefon Diggs to all of a sudden send aces and describe, bragging about numbers when each time you get competition, you turn around and you start crying, and then you pull strings behind the scenes to get the other person punished. It doesn't really make any sense. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, the mere concept of her responding to a district that no longer exists because, well, somebody from your team or somebody from your side took it down, and now you want to come back acting like you are willing to get in the booth, and this Jatavia is ridiculous also. But I know that people will probably never call this. They are supporting her, saying, speak your ish, and all of that. Now let's move on to the hypocritical part about all of this. Is she not the same girl that is out there saying to Nicki Minaj, you cannot compare yourself to me as far as the numbers are concerned? Compare yourself to your peers. Taylor Swift, Rihanna, and all of these people that she was bringing up. And she's the same person who was doing that. And guess what the GP did by now? I'm sure, and I do hope that we all have established that the GP is BS and dumb people that follow B's opinion. Okay, that follows opinions. Those are the GP. Okay, so when she was out there crying and saying that Nicki is out there, why are you comparing yourself to me? I came into the industry way later than you. Oh my God, this and that, this and that, this and that, this and that. People started sympathizing with her, saying there's no need to brag about numbers. But she's the same girl who's now turning around bragging about numbers. And at this point, I'm like, I do not think that Black women really need any form of redemption, okay? Because we do this to ourselves, okay? One person, we cannot stand on principles for anything. We can't stand on principles. It's always about who I like and who I don't like. And this is why when I begin to understand that when it comes to women in general, we base our opinions on emotions, not facts. Okay? The facts could be looking at you in your face. But guess what? Women are going to do it. They're going to use feelings. If Nicki makes you feel some type of way, if she awakens any form of insecurity within you, you're going to go with feelings. And you won't even check the facts. And there's a video that I will insert at the end, where this girl is beautifully describing what a friend was saying in as far as this entire situation is concerned. Anyway, so let me know in the comment section, you guys, what you think about that. As for the lyrics, I don't know if they are supposed to make us scream or something, because the moment I remember that it's probably Pizon who wrote that, I'm just like, okay, what are we doing right here? That's a man literally writing disses towards a woman. Like, what are we supposed to celebrate here? Okay, whose penmanship, really? Because really, if you don't write, I don't understand how I can gag at anything that you say, because at the end of the day, you didn't say that. At the end of the day, somebody else said that, but you're just mouthing it. So I'm sorry. I don't trade it. Anyway, let's move on to the next thing that we're going to be talking about. Speaking about Advocate BBL, let's talk about her song with Young Thug. Well, that is the particular song that people were alleging she was shading Nicki Minaj on. Now, that song didn't even make it to Billboard 100 despite all the shows, despite all the mess. It is literally bubbling under. Let me just take a quick look at what is being reported. Well, they're saying that, Billboard bubbling under, Hot 100 sitting at number 23's, Young Thug and, Kibby News. Okay, on the news. I'm just like, at this point, I don't know if there was any amount of theatrics that could save this girl's career or not. I really don't know. And for the people that are saying that, this entire beef with Jatavia has been orchestrated, I don't think that anything at this point is going to revive that career. Now, is she going to be a little bit more relevant than she was just because she's going back and forth with Nicki or JT? Absolutely. But will that short-lived relevance actually turn into sales or sold-out concerts? Absolutely not. And real executives know this. This is why allegedly Pacific was hesitant in putting out her album, because drama does not equate to sales, and this is why. I'm saying that her tour is going to get interesting, unless of course they do find somebody else to do a joint tour with. I mean that they wanted Nicki Minaj to do with her. So, I don't know. Let me know in the comments section what you think about this. That being said, she was also spotted allegedly in a club in which own of Sta's baby Maz was hosting, and people were like she was seemingly trying to intimidate the girl and trying to be petty. And I'm like, already the boy allegedly has 3 baby Maz. So you're going to be petty with all 3 of them. That's going to get interesting. And if you already are starting to feel threatened before you have even given birth, you have no idea the amount of drama that you have waiting for you. Because guess what? Offset was out there doing the unthinkable and stuff like that. But this man, Stefon, I have a feeling that that's going to be her karma. That man's going to be her cum, because that man, imagine an entire team saying the one person they wouldn't want their sisters to date in. Their group is none other than that man. And that's the man that you decide to go with 2 open legs for. Not only open legs, no, you allowed that man to sprinkle you in. Then after sprinkling, you didn't just decide to keep the sprinkles inside. I don't know you guys, but then again, if she likes it, we absolutely love it. Good luck to her. I just do hope that there won't be any men sent there to come for Stefon's baby, as it has happened in the past. Because, there are allegations that somebody somewhere got hurt by a cheating man to the point of sending men to put hands on women because of a cheating man. That's loser behavior. But of course, black women would never call that out. That's still their idol. Had it been done by another person, of course, we wouldn't have heard the end of it. But because it's this favorite person that they have, that's their ticket to discrediting another black woman, of course. They're going to ride with any and everything that she does say. Speaking about black women and them putting this girl on a pedestal. Rolling Stone, Rolling Stone, Rolling Stone, Rolling Stone, what are you guys doing? They are out there blaming criticism for the, disgusting behavior of cheating on your man whilst you're still married and, having another man sprinkle you inside, and then you keep the seed whilst you're still married to a person. They are now saying that anybody who's criticizing that, it is, word influenced. Okay? This is an R-word stereotype. That's why people are criticizing her. And I'm thinking in my mind, which race is that? Which one? Because I don't think that regardless of your, R-word, you could be white. But I don't think the YT community would be out there applauding suck behavior that sets back whoever you're supposed to be representing. Okay? You guys have made her your representative, right? You guys have allowed her to play and literally lie to you in your face that she is a black woman. Okay, let's say you have accepted that. But how she's behaving is how you guys want to be represented as far as entertainment is concerned. And anybody who dares criticize this type of behavior is being called. It's our inspiration. And this is the foolery that I'm talking about. Had it been any other woman, it would have been different because of this sympathy. I didn't see it for Keke Palmer. And Keke wasn't out there laying down with someone's husband. Neither was she married. But you guys were bashing her left, right, and center just because she had a baby out of wedlock before getting married. The same with Rihanna. The same with Miss Red. But when it comes to this woman doing things that I personally didn't think that this would be possible. Okay, I understood people cheat and, get pregnant whilst in marriages. But to literally have some form of Irish twins from different men whilst you're married is something that's so new to me. It's something that I had never seen happening in real life. And I also have never seen anyone who would be capable of defending such. I never really thought in my wildest dream I would ever see this behavior being celebrated or being defended. It's ridiculous at this point. But guess what? If you guys like it, we absolutely love it because at the end of the day, when she's done, do you know what she's going to do? She's going to do like the Kardashians, okay? As soon as they were done with the diaper boots and stuff like that, they took them out and then they went back to exactly where they belong. Okay, slim bodies that are acceptable in the YT community. The dating changed. She was out there with Pete. What's that Ariana's ex name? Pete Davidson. She's out there dating the typical people. Kylie Jenner. She's back with Timothy, whatever. And you guys are still walking with the diaper booties because you are stuck. You don't have the privilege to go back to where you belong. And that's what she's going to do after she's done tarnishing the image of black women because you guys are calling it this. I wouldn't be surprised if 5 years from now she comes back and says, oh no, she goes back to her roots. I'm Latina. I am not black. And then she goes back and starts behaving in a different way. Meanwhile, you allowed her to represent you and you defended degenerate behavior that no other community would accept. You welcomed that in your community and you allowed your children to be inspired and influenced by this person. Your sisters are getting inspired and influenced by that person, and then she goes back to her own community after poisoning your community. But you love it, right? You love it. You defend it because it's so real. It's so relatable because when you look at her, you're like, so I can get away with anything. I can do anything without any criticism. But if you think that's how it's going to work, it's only praised when it's being done by somebody like her. The moment you do it, you're going to see that it's never stylish to be a loose woman. It is never stylish to be a woman of no principles. It could never be stylish to be anything like that. Really, it's not. But anyway, I digress. Let's talk about other things. Let us talk about Tia Camp, another woman who seems to have an issue with Nicki Minaj. And I doubt Nicki Minaj knows she exists. Tia Camp got online, started talking smack about Nicki Minaj. Oh my God, I'm going to check you. When Nicki was going back and forth with Advocate BBL, Nicki didn't say anything to her. Nicki Minaj fans went to her and were out there saying, don't talk to Nicki Minaj. Stop talking about Nicki Minaj. And what did Tia do? Instead of addressing the Babs, she decided to now sing F Nicki Minaj and to drag Nicki Minaj. And she's the same girl who I spoke about on this channel who just came online unprovoked and started saying, I wish a bee would. I wish you would try me. I wish you would try me. I would drag her. Is she a rapper? Like, I don't understand. Is she a rapper? Like, what has Nicki Minaj done to her? And people are applauding her right now. People are like, go Tia, go. And when Nicki says something, watch how the narrative is going to spin, because right now they're cheering on Tia when Nicki hasn't said anything to her. I mean, she has been speaking "Oh Nicki" for the whole past week and Nicki hasn't said anything to clap back. As if that's not enough. She came back talking about Nicki Minaj and this. oh my God, this and that, this and that. And it's just so she's literally forming in the mouth. Like she is forming in the mouth, wanting to be included so bad. I hope she's getting paid for that really, because it's very weird. Like it's very, very weird. She's literally forming and, talking smack, and I wish you would try me. I wish you would do this to me. And I'm just looking at her like, ma'am, don't you have somewhere else to put your energy? And when Nicki Minaj responds to her, I don't want to hear anyone saying, oh, that she's too old to be doing that. So Estia, but are you guys not applauding her? Yandi is so funny. Yeah, you're so funny. Disgusting behavior. Let's move on to the next thing that we're going to be talking about. I just wanted to insert this clip for somebody who seems to exist for autism. Given everything that went down, for some of you that still refuse to see the bigger picture. This is what the bigger picture looks like. And falsely diagnosing children or even adults is not a thing that you can do and think it's funny. And I've been seeing people laughing at the, oh my God, your favorite color is 5 jokes. It's funny. What happens if you or her end up giving birth to a child who's on the spectrum? What then happens? Do people turn around and start laughing? Do people sympathize with her? And this whole narrative that people are pushing that for you to have somebody to have a child on the spectrum, you must have done something wrong, is exactly the stigma that the autism activists are trying to debunk. That's the stigma that they're trying to move away from. There are allegations of other top, entertainment industry people or top entertainers. We've heard rumors about you knowing Beyonce and, does it mean she did something wrong or it only applies to one person? I just said that was disgusting, but let me insert what this person had to say. But I don't think that after that, I'm going to be coming back. So that being said, thank you very much you guys for watching, and thank you very much for making it this far.
In light of the very abhorrent things that Cardi B has spoken about autistic children this week, I want to make a few things very clear. First and foremost, just because somebody is autistic does not necessarily or automatically mean that they have a cognitive impairment. You can look at cognitive impairments and autism as comorbidities rather than an all-inclusive diagnosis, because they are two separate diagnoses, which is why if you look at the DSM-5-TR or you look in the ICD-10, you will see two different or multiple different ICD codes for autism versus the multiple cognitive impairments. Why? Because they are two separate things. They're not the same. Number 2, nonverbal children cannot communicate with you verbally. There's a video of Kenneth Petty asking Papa Bear, how old are you? And Papa Bear said 4. That shows a certain level, to whatever extent we don't know, but a certain level of both expressive language skills and receptive language skills. Receptive language skills being Papa Bear understood what was being asked of him, and expressive language skills is him responding back appropriately. So when his father asked him, how old are you? And he said 4, that show expressive and receptive language skills. So I highly doubt that if you asked Papa Bear what his favorite color was, he would say 5 while you trying to be funny. Nonverbal children cannot communicate with you verbally, which is why the ergo nonverbal. So they will do grunts, they will scream, they will cry, they will do whatever it is. They will do gestures. They more so use gestures and grunting than anything. That is a nonverbal child. A nonverbal child cannot say how old they are. I don't know what number we on. Moving forward, him banging spoons does not mean that he is cognitively delayed. He could be stimming. He could simply be playing. He could be trying to look for a sensory input and output. We do that every single day. There are also videos of Papa Bear walking flat-footed, but you said that he was walking on his tippy toes because you said that to be spiteful. Making fun of children who actually walk on their tippy toes because that's a telltale sign of autism. And you know that much, but you don't know enough to not immediately assume that a child who shows symptoms of autism is cognitively delayed. Using does not cause autism while you're trying to be funny. And if you are the parent of a child who has autism or children with autism, there is nothing wrong with your child. And they deserve the same amount of respect, courtesy, and love as every other neurotypical child. There is nothing wrong with you. There is nothing that you did that caused your child to have autism. It is very heavily genetic. It has a heavy genetic component. And they also say some environmental factors as well. And Cardi, I would tell you to go read a book, but the last time somebody way more educated and way more intelligent than you told you to read a book, you told her no. So I ain't wasting my breath on that. You don't even, we know you not gonna read. We know you can't read. You don't even read the lyrics of on the sheet of paper that they give you in the studio of the songs that you be reciting that you claim as your own. You just get in the studio and wing it. And we hear it. We hear that. We hear the improv, ma'am. You don't even read them before you even get the paper. They give you the paper and you be like, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And you started this entire thing when you said that A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Matter of fact, you started it back in 2024 when you were subbing Papa Bear because you know your fans like to call him slow. You started this entire thing and you throw rocks and hide your hands every single time. And that's why people hate the barbs, because the barbs catch your tail every time and you lie. What you said was so far out of line. I want to see how mothers with children with autism are going to defend you this time. Abhorrent, and it's ignorant, and it's this lack of education that caused a stigma on people, and that's why they don't want to get diagnosed. That's why they don't want to live in their truth. They don't want to get their children diagnosed because of people like Cardi B. But because y'all hate Nicki Minaj, y'all gonna love her. Y'all gonna let her get away with just another horrible thing she has said and done. And y'all gonna let it go under the radar, and y'all gonna stream whatever little streams y'all gonna give her, and that's gonna be that. But this is abhorrent. And you started this entire thing. Speaking that nasty and spewing that much vitriol on a child when you are currently pregnant is wild to me, and it's hubris. And I hope your baby comes out healthy and happy and beautiful like the rest of your beautiful children. They are so beautiful, but their mother has a very ugly spirit. That's nasty. This all seems so nasty and evil because you're nasty and evil. And until you fix that spirit and fix that anger in your heart, you're going to always be nasty and evil. And there's only going to be so many people that are going to continue to defend your foolery. You got them now. But eventually, they're going to get tired of that. And they're going to look back and say, that was jacked up because it was.